The fight is done. We lost. Stay hidden.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Friends of the Force, a Star Wars podcast. I'm your host, Brad.
And I'm your host, Sarah.
And this week on the show, surprise episode, because we are talking about the long-awaited trailer for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Oh my gosh. Sarah.
Yeah.
I was just having a morning today. It was just, what a day. What a day. We woke up, we got the Entertainment Weekly photos cover. The last print issue of Entertainment Weekly will feature Obi-Wan Kenobi. And we were like, great. EW today, trailer another time. It's fine. This is good. Feeding the rats a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you go to see the Batman.
Round 2. It's a great movie. Go see it, guys.
Tell us what happens next once you go in to see Battinson. Yeah,
well, you gave me the floor here, so I'm going to talk way longer than I need to about it. But I decided to go to this 12 p.m. showing, definitively. I bought my ticket at 11:58. So, I get out of my house by 12:10. I'm there by 12:15 because my theater is very close by. I'm going to get myself some macaroni and cheese bites. I'm texting Brad. I'm like, I'm going to be late to this screening because of these macaroni and cheese bites. So it's 12:30ish by the time that I go into the theater. And then I'm in Gotham City. I'm living my best life. I'm thriving. I'm gazing upon the beautiful jawline of Robert Pattinson and the beautiful jawline of Zoe Kravitz. And I am just feeling powerful. I'm feeling confident. And I'm doing great. I'm doing great over here. And I walk out of the movie theater. I'm feeling like I'm on cloud 9, just having my day. And I turn on my phone and the first notification is from Brad. And it says, "You picked a bad time to go to the movie. Get ready to record later tonight," and then link to the trailer. And I said, "Fuck, you're joking." And then he didn't respond. So I texted him some more. I said, "Yes, wait for me. I'm going to run home." And so I ran home. And by ran home, I mean I drove in my car. Was it my safest drive home? No.
A little distracted.
A little distracted, but we got home safely. And then Brad was like, "I'll be there soon. I gotta get home. I gotta drive home from work." And I was like, "Fuck, I thought you were ready." Now. So I was sitting up on the, right outside my bedroom door, and Kilo, my dog, was just laying on my legs. I was petting him, and I was like, we are experiencing great patience right now. Go us. This is gold star on us. And then I kept sending Brad photos of my dog, and I was like, we're working here really hard here to be patient, but it's really difficult. And then I got a notification that the Strange New Worlds trailer, starring Hot Pike, also dropped. And I was like,
Star Trek, for those of you unfamiliar.
Shut the front door. This day can't get better. But it already did get better, because this morning, Del Rey Star Wars announced that they were going to be at Star Wars Celebration. So I mean,
amazing.
I was just thriving today. So Brad and I got online, and eventually when he decided he would come home, I guess, and we both got online, we got on Zoom, and we watched this trailer, and we lost our goddamn minds. I mean, he had already seen it. Everybody had already seen it. The group chat was like, "Oh my God, Sarah, where are you? Stop being vengeance." Meanwhile, my phone is off. I'm just living in Gotham City,
just enjoying life,
And everybody else is like, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." And then I getting
your daily dose of Bat-Cat without even knowing you're about to get your daily dose of Kenobi.
I got the little bit of Bat-Cat, a little bit of Hot Pike, a little bit of Kenobi.
It's the Holy Trinity.
I got some books. I really can't. I am truly thriving in this moment. So exciting day on that regard for me. I also tell you guys, I took off work today. So I took off work today and another day this week, so that I kind of have an extended weekend. Because I haven't done that, and the holidays were a really, really busy time, and I didn't take off any work. Anyway, that's all to say, I picked the right day to take off work, because I would have not been able to shelf books. I would have not been able to interact with customers. I'd be buzzing, and the Kenobi trailer. And then my blessed, a lot of the coworkers that I work with are retirees who just do not understand that I am like this about the Star Wars, and they definitely kindly judge me. I love them, but they're like, "Oh, there she is again, freaking out about Star Wars."
I feel like anybody's lying to themselves if they said they got something done at work today. And for me, I've been out for a little bit because I was very sick, and today was my first day back, and I was just like, why couldn't this have dropped when I was homesick and I could have just watched it? So yeah, that was fun. But anyways, we are here though because we are gonna go through the trailer. We're gonna break it down, like, frame by frame, speculate. We're getting some glimpses of who's playing who finally. After we got that casting announcement, it feels like forever ago. So we're going to speculate still a little bit. But before we get into that, we quickly want to mention a couple of updates in the Star Wars community at large and even beyond that. So Sarah, did you want to kind of kick us off with our first item?
Sure. So we're going to shift this for a couple minutes into like very serious conversation that needs to be had. And that is with the Amidala Initiative. And the Amidala Initiative is a community-led effort to help raise money for Equality Texas in order for them to be able to do work on the ground in Texas to combat the anti-trans laws that are being proposed in Texas. And this is really serious because it affects real people and real families and puts real marginalized kids specifically at risk. And it's not okay. It's not okay. It's not acceptable. It's deeply upsetting. And so the Amidala Initiative brings together over almost 80 creators who, including us, who signed on our names to support this, but creators all across the Star Wars fan community, whether they, sign their name on this, particular webpage or not, to raise money for Equality Texas. So we will have the GoFundMe links in the show notes if you want to learn more, or if you have the ability to donate. That's a great way to, help the people who are on the ground if you are yourself are not proximate to the situation. And I will say that this also is really important right now, not just in Texas. So if you are in Florida or Idaho,
Georgia,
or Missouri or Georgia, or plenty of other states at this point, LGBTQIA plus folks and trans folks specifically are being targeted in a way that feels aggressive and regressive and deeply, deeply upsetting and perhaps illegal, if we're going to go there. But this is all really, really important. And please make sure you're keeping up with what's going on. Help in the ways that you can, whether it be money, time, sharing your voice, lending a hand to someone you know. It really sucks. It really, really, really sucks. So we're proud to have our name on this initiative. We're proud to be part of this community that's helping to raise money. And we hope that you'll join us in that effort, or at least, share and read on with about what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is truly awful. Like what is happening. It's just part of like a really large trend in anti-LGBTQIA plus legislation happening around the country. Especially relevant to what we're talking about today, finding out that Disney is donating to sponsors of the Don't Say Gay bill in Florida, and how hurtful that is. And we've seen a lot of Disney employees. Pixar just released a letter from, their employees as well. So there's just a lot happening right now, and a lot that we have to stand up for that goes beyond Star Wars, because Star Wars is fiction. And at the end of the day, these laws are affecting the lives of real people in really, really negative ways. Some ways that could be irreversible. So, we're just trying to do our part as best as we can, along with some of our other fellow Star Wars creators. We have a lot of other friends on here. We donated our Patreon money for this month as part of the GoFundMe. So right now it's about $8,000, just over that. The goal is $25,000. So if you have a couple extra bucks to spare this month, definitely do that, because it is a really, really important initiative. Maybe instead of buying that next piece of Star Wars merchandise, put it towards this instead. Sometime that's a good way to think and to inspire real change in a bit more of a selfless way. So I
will also acknowledge here that this is an episode that is going to very positively react to this Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer in just a couple minutes here. And I just want to acknowledge right now that like we're sitting in a complicated set of feelings, and I don't know what the right answer is, because at the end of the day, I'm really excited about this trailer, and I'm also just very, very upset and having trouble finding the words about how I feel about this legislation in Texas and legislation in Florida, and how that connects to Disney, which owns Lucasfilm, which is putting out Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm like, I just want to acknowledge that and say, like, if you, the listener, are also having those sort of very conflicting feelings, that's fair and that's valid, and we should keep having these conversations with one another and with ourselves as to how we can best navigate these conversations and how we can best help, and how we can not drown out the really important work that's going on, and also the really scary things that are that people are fighting back against with that work. So I don't know if I mean the whole point of this is that I really don't have a settled thought, but yeah, I just want to acknowledge that like this is a really complicated time in a lot of different ways, and I respect however you're feeling about all this. If you're saying no, I can't engage with Kenobi, I mean, you're probably not listening to this episode if that's the case, but like, if you're saying, no, I can't engage with Kenobi, or no, I'm just engaging with Kenobi a little bit, or I'm feeling some guilt about this, or I'm struggling with getting excited about it because this, I get it.
Yeah. I think the important thing that you hit on is just not to drown out the important work going on, and not to sweep this under the rug completely, right? Like keep it top of mind, keep the conversation up. It's a complex set of feelings for sure, but we're just going to kind of proceed forward as best as we can, and talk about this trailer, what excited us about it, but we wanted to make sure upfront that we were at least discussing what we were involved with, because it is super important, and this is our platform, so we want to make sure that everybody listening knows about it. So again, the link will be in the description of this episode, and please consider donating, because a lot of dollars away from that goal. So every one counts ultimately.
And the last thing I'll touch on here is, if you are someone that is listening to this podcast that lives in one of the states that has one of these laws that's going through the legislature right now, and you are not somebody who maybe has reached out to your representatives, your elected officials before, whether they are supporting this bill or are against it, please make your voice heard, whether it be via email, via phone call, call your elected representative's office, tell them that you oppose this, tell them that, you don't want, this is not the culture of your state, or whatever comes from the heart. Be kind to the person on the other end. They're probably an intern, but yeah, make your voice heard, because that's one of the tangible ways that constituents specifically can help, that non-constituents don't have that same sort of power. And with that, I think that's our final word on that. We will continue to talk about this, continue to share these links. So thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to us talk about these things as well. But without further ado, I guess we're going to head over to our trailer conversation, which it's always hard to transition out of a serious conversation into like a really excited one, because the tone shift feels weird. So I'm just going to acknowledge that the tone shift feels weird, and then maybe it'll be less weird. That's how I tend to approach things, but I'm kind of bad at that. So this trailer dropped today, and it did kind of rock our worlds. I won't lie, and now after having done this whole transition, I feel like an asshole for saying that, but like it did. Do you agree?
I agree. It did rock my world. Like I said, I was not productive today in any sense of the word. Besides being excited, I guess, if you consider that productivity, if you consider the physicality of literally buzzing and jumping up and down, if that's exercise, then I was productive. I was exercising from all the running around and so that was that was the extent of me being productive today. But yeah, I thought it was such a good trailer. I saw that it was 1 minute 46 seconds, and I was like, oh god, they're giving us the good stuff. And it was very
almost 2 whole minutes.
It was good. It had everything that you would want from a Kenobi trailer, right? Like Obi-Wan's voice, Obi-Wan himself, the Duel of the Fates, the Battle of the Heroes, Darth Vader breathing, you know, an EOP. He's riding an EOP again, like he was.
Don't all Star Wars fans just really desire an EOP in their Star Wars? I think yes.
Is that the same one that he was riding at the end of Revenge of the Sith?
Excellent question. Maybe that EOP has a name.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
I think it does in the Kenobi book, I've heard. So, which we got to read still by John Jackson Miller.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe that
when?
I don't know. We'll find it. We'll find a time.
Yeah, just in the time that we aren't spending, you know, reading and reviewing the other 1,000 novels that are coming out this year, or, you know, planning for or being at Celebration, or, you know, going to work and eating food and living a life.
I just sacrifice all those things for the books.
Yeah. Yeah. No more Batman. Just Kenobi.
Just Kenobi. But what did you think of the trailer when you saw it? And like, what was your initial reaction when you finished it?
So, I mean, as we talked about earlier, when I saw the notification that this trailer had dropped, I have not felt that level of excitement in a very long time about a Star Wars, I don't think. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somebody will be like, Sarah, you felt this way 2 months ago. Get over it. Or no, you know, I did feel this way 2 months ago because I was really fucking excited about Book of Boba Fett episode 2. But I'm like buzzing in a way that's really exciting for me, because I feel somewhat similarly to the way that I did when the Last Jedi trailers came out. Which,
how so?
There was a feeling in that, which I am trying not to get myself hyped up this much, because I have been burned before in Star Wars live action TV. But like, there is that feeling of like, if they nail this will be genuinely like capital G, capital S, capital W, great Star Wars. And so I had that like feeling of like really pure excitement in the lead up to watching this trailer. And then I was actually like really energized by this trailer. It's action packed. It's interesting. I don't know what this series is. What, 6 episodes?
I believe so. Rumored. I
don't know what episodes these clips come from. I don't know if we're seeing just a very small piece of the pie or like a more overarching understanding of the capital P plot. I don't know. And so like that's exciting. It's also a little scary because they could do a Book of Boba Fett on me, and then episodes 3 and 4 out of 6 are something completely off kilter. But like I don't know. I'm just feeling really good. And then by the time it ended, I was bummed as heck. We did not get the Vader / Anakin reveal. You know how typically trailers end with either like a punchy joke or a big reveal. I think I was expecting that because that's what we've been conditioned to expect from trailers in general. We didn't get that. So I was like, oh, how dare they? But I also totally get it. But yeah, it was so exciting to see everybody.
Yeah. There is such a different energy to this show, because when you look at something like what we've gotten in the Mandoverse so far, obviously it's all John and Dave's vision, but this is going to be the first Star Wars project that's outside of John and Dave's realm. It's Deborah Chow. It's her vision. She's directing every episode. She's an executive producer on the show, along with Ewan McGregor, along with Michelle Rejwan, Kathleen Kennedy, Joby Harold. So it'll be really interesting to see, does it have a little bit more consistency than like what we got in the Book of Boba Fett, where it was kind of marketed as one thing and we were told like, oh, that trailer is only the first couple episodes or the first episode. And I feel like that's always been a recurring theme with the Mandoverse, is like, you've only seen, what's in the first 2 episodes from the trailer. And usually it's because we get all these cameos. But it seems with Obi-Wan Kenobi, we got the cast list back in March of last year. And now we kind
March
of know.
March of last year is when we got this?
Yeah. And we know,
moly.
With the exception of O'Shea Jackson Jr. and Kumail Nanjiani, we know pretty much who everybody's playing on that cast list now.
Or at least we saw them in the trailer. Like, so even if we don't know who they're playing.
Yeah.
We'll I mean, we're making a couple educated guesses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that is like noteworthy that we got a cast list. We know who's playing who. And it's not sort of this game of like, guess who's coming to the show? Guess who's showing up, right? They gave us a lot in this trailer. It didn't feel as much of a Disney Plus commercial as like the Book of Boba Fett trailer did. This really felt like you said, I was watching a Last Jedi trailer. I was watching like a cinematic thing happen. Like I felt uplifted. I felt the Duel of the Fates course through my blood. I mean, and maybe that's part of it, you know, maybe the orchestra music, and I'm feeling that prequels nostalgia again, but there's just something about the energy of the show in general that feels so positive and like so inspiring. And my God, like I'm over the moon. Honestly, I was crying in the bathroom at work today watching it, and that was like a good feeling. It was. I like put the phone down and I was just looking at the ceiling, crying, laughing, and I was like, I can't believe it. You know, it's just insane.
Yeah. So I think that like you were saying, this felt more like Last Jedi, and I mean that's what I mentioned earlier. But like that little musical flourish, that da-da-da-da-da, is exactly what happens in two slightly different ways at the beginning of both of the key Last Jedi trailers. And so I felt immediately primed of like, that was the, that if this is good, like, this is a very hopeful sound for me. And then we go into like all of these prequel music cues, and they were not shy about it at the trailer house. They were like, you know what the kids want? They want prequel music. Who doesn't love prequel music? Even if you don't like the prequels, you like prequel music. So they really went hard on the music, and I was so thrilled. And then it made me think, and I've mentioned this to you, Brad, like 4 times already today. It was like, imagine this is a trailer we got at Celebration, and like Duel of Fates drops, and everybody just like loses their mind.
Collapse.
Like, and so that then made me really excited for the fact that we're all gonna, you know, all being you and me and whoever goes, gonna be in a room together, doing that same thing again. And it really gave me that sort of like excitement for the collective joy in fandom. And I really appreciated that too, because I'm a sucker for that nice, good, warm, fuzzy feeling of friendship. Like,
yeah.
And like,
it was just an interesting energy from the fandom today of like Kenobi. Yeah.
But it was like, we got real blessed though, us book lovers this morning with like the Del Rey, we're going to be back at the booth. And I was like, yes, this is the happiest I've been in 2.5 years, is knowing that there's going to be a book going, like Del Rey's going to have a booth there. And it's like, yay, even more happy, you know, Star Wars things. Although like the timing of this trailer release is something, alluding to our previous earlier conversation. But like, yeah, I think that our excitement about it is cool to see amongst, you know, varying factions of fandom, if you will. We have circles, and then our circles have circles, and then our circles have circles, and they all kind of start to overlap, and it's interesting. But like, without further ado, I think we should kind of dive into the trailer. Talk about
let's do it.
And talk about what we saw, because it opens here with that little musical flourish, and then we get Obi-Wan on the OP. Iconic, incredible,
love it.
No notes. Literally no
so
notes.
Good. Yeah. What did you think of him walking through town in the next shot? And he seems to be sort of, he's walking his EOP through town, Tatooine. Like, it looks very just like, it looks so great. Like, again, I know we're another show with Tatooine.
Don't compliment Tatooine. It doesn't need
2 in a row.
It's been so propped up by this franchise for the past 40 years, and they're still doing it. Tatooine does not need your compliments. It's a little dingy. It's not all that.
But I am excited, you know, like I've said before, you know, I think there is a point of too much. However, I do think in some instances, the familiar is good when it's from a new pair of eyes. And so I'm excited to see.
That's always true.
What Tatooine and like what Mos Eisley look like through the eyes of a Jedi on the run. You know, how do you blend in, and how do you not draw attention to yourself, especially when there's inquisitors roaming through town and trying to potentially find you, or we still don't know who they're trying to find. We think Kenobi from the trailer. Maybe there's more to it than we might realize. Right. Jedi in general. But I'm excited to see this town through his eyes and like what he's been up to, why he's unpacking his bag, it looks like in this next shot. And I don't know what's going on.
I want to talk about that in a second, but I want to answer, how does he blend in? And the answer is wearing a poncho. But then my second question is, I'm at 9 seconds in. So listeners, if you want to follow along here, I'm looking at this EOP. How does one get on the EOP? This is a question that I have that might be answered in other canon, but I just don't recall, because like the stirrups, like where you put your feet, they're so high up. They're like at the level of his head. I just have questions. Do they like sit down? They sit down to get on the EOP. See, these are things on canon I just don't remember.
Well, Jar Jar fell off the EOP in The Phantom Menace, and the EOP farted. So hopefully we get the fart this time. Deborah Chow, give us the fart
disagree.
cut.
Give us the fart cut. Okay, but then you were saying that you thought that this next shot here, where these people are walking across, is him unpacking a bag. I have watched this on 0.5 speed before you were recording, and I think he is slicing something. Because, and here, so I think there are a couple of clues that showed to me that this is like a work sort of space. And the first is that like there are people walking. There's the scaffolding. Like this is very reminiscent of like scaffolding in front of a building that people are working on.
Oh,
and then you see the way that he sets up his hand, and then his other hand is kind of guarding it, kind of setting it in place. I think he's slicing something.
Oh, wait, I think I see wood in the background. Like 2x4s almost.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God, is he a carpenter?
Has
Obi-Wan Kenobi become a carpenter?
That's, you know what? That's real Jesus energy right there.
Is he building Docking Bay 94? Where he's gonna then, it's all connected.
It's all connected. And that's why Ewan McGregor should go on Talking Bay 94, a podcast hosted by Brandon Winerity. So, yeah, I think that's some sort of workplace. Does he get paid for his work is a question that I think we should be asking ourselves. Tatooine, not a great history of wages. That's all I'll say there. So that'll be really interesting. And I think we're kind of also in an outer rim sort of space, or not like outer rim sort of space, but not Mos Espa, which just seemed to be like a really dense city. So like what's happening in these more rural regions?
So we get this next shot. It seems to tell a story, this trailer, in that, Kenobi goes to work, parks his EOP in town, goes to work. He gets off work. He travels out of town. Looks like he's going back into the desert. And then we get to this next shot where he is sitting on the rocks. And we're like, oh, what's he doing? Is he having a little picnic by himself? And then, flash to the binoculars. There's the Lars homestead. I see Aunt Beru coming out of the Lars homestead. She's with Uncle Owen. And I was like, you hear the battle of the heroes swelling up in your ears. And you're like, oh my God. And then it zooms in, and there is young Luke Skywalker. And listen, I have been one on this podcast during the last 2 years to be like, enough with the Skywalker saga, enough with Luke Skywalker.
I literally never want to see Luke Skywalker again, please.
We were like so dumb. We're like, let's move to new stories. And here I am eating my own words, because again, Luke Skywalker as a little kid, there is just something that brought me to tears seeing this little kid sitting on his home, pretending to be a pilot, pretending to spin. That's a good trick. Like he is spinning like his dad used to in his pod racer and his Naboo N1 starfighter. And he doesn't even realize that is where he's getting that from, like his dad was a pilot. And there is just something so beautiful where here's this kid and he's just being a kid. Luke is just being a kid. It's not the Luke Skywalker that we've ever known. And so there's a certain sense of innocence here of this kid who just wants to be a kid, just wants to pretend to play his own Star Wars, in his free time. And he has no idea of the destiny that awaits him. Nothing. He doesn't know that he's going to blow up the Death Star, that he's going to save his father, that he's going to train Rey, who's going to then save the galaxy later on. And
you missed the section of his life where he almost killed his his godson and then exiled himself from the forest. But like that's okay.
Stole Grogu. That. Yeah, we'll skip that part.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. That was statements were said and choices were made.
Yeah, but there is just something so beautiful about it that when I saw it, I was just very moved, and the way that you hear the Battle of the Heroes swell up into the Luke Skywalker, Force theme, and it cuts back to Ewan and Obi-Wan. He puts the binoculars down, which is a great new meme, by the way. And there's a sense
immediately
of like,
a meme.
There's a sense of like maybe things will be okay. This kid's safe. All is well. But it seems that maybe Obi-Wan's drawn elsewhere. But what did you think of seeing Luke? And like, I was not expecting to have the reaction I did to more Luke Skywalker, even though we knew we were going to get him, obviously. But it was good. It was really good.
Yeah. I will never say a bad word about this child. So I don't know who he is, but I will protect him with my life. I hope he had the time of his life playing baby Luke Skywalker. And I'm thrilled to see this very adorable moment where he's like, it looks like he's flying or pod racing and like that.
He's got the goggles on too.
He's got that. It's so precious. It's so precious. And I really like how we're getting this through the lens.
Oh my God. What if those are Anakin's goggles? Because Shmi had them in her things and brought them to the Lars homestead.
You know what? This is the end of the pod. I think we need to go cry about this now.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, no, it's
crap,
this is emo. This is like really like emotional moment here.
All right.
But yeah, like I like how we're getting it from Obi-Wan's point of view. So we're not like right up, the camera is not right up in Luke's face or anything. Like it's really far back. It's from Obi-Wan's eyes. And it makes me curious to know if like that's the only way we're gonna get Luke is from these like very far off kind of, sort of things, or if we're going to get like one key scene with Luke, or if this is the only time that we see him. I don't know. Like, I think it'll be curious to find that out as the show goes on. But yeah, I will never say a bad word about this child. May this child never be bullied by the internet. Listeners,
God,
if you bully this child, I will not let you listen to the podcast anymore.
We will block you. Yeah, no, that's an interesting point. I do wonder how much we'll see of him because there have been rumors of other appearances in the show, and I'm curious how that will all fit in and like where Obi-Wan's focus will be fully drawn to. So that kind of leads me to like the narration of this trailer, which is Obi-Wan saying the fight is done, we lost, and then when he sees Luke, you hear Obi-Wan say, "Stay hidden." That kind of felt like a goodbye of sorts. Mm-hmm. And so we know that we're going off planet in this show, which I know you and I were kind of skeptical of, but sort of seeing the vision of the show in the trailers, I am like kind of here for it almost, because I'm like, maybe we're going to get just enough Tatooine and Obi-Wan's going on some sort of important mission, maybe it seems, and maybe he's telling Owen to stay hidden while I'm gone because like I'm not going to be here to protect you. And like my initial thought is like maybe Obi-Wan realizes he's not safe as long as these Inquisitors are around, and Luke's not safe, and maybe the Inquisitors come to Tatooine for one thing and Obi-Wan catches wind of it, or Owen catches wind of it as we see in the trailer, and that's sort of when he realizes I gotta nip this thing real quick before they find me eventually, which will lead to Luke. So that might require him to go off planet for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, we have 6 episodes to play around with here. I'm hoping that they're all actually an hour long, and not a second shorter.
32-minute premiere, I'd cry. I'd be like, no, God, please.
I just feel like there's a lot of story to tell, and it does feel like they have a cohesive story set up. And so, like, I don't want them to skip on any of that. Like, I really want to get into the emotions of it all. I really want to get into the action adventure of it all. So the fact that we are going off world is exciting because I love a new planet, but it's also a little daunting because it's like, okay, how are we going to balance all of the things that need to happen in the show in this limited amount of time, well. And so like, that's one thing that I don't think Book of Boba Fett did 100% very well. So I'm giving you one last shot, Lucasfilm. So we'll see. But I think that brings us to after Luke here, we get, after the meme, of course, the incredible Duel of the Fates drop. And then we get...
Oh my God. Were you expecting that?
The Inquisitor, the Duel of the Fate Stop or the Inquisitor Fortress? Because
the drop of the century.
No, not at all. Like that was a needle drop for the ages.
I felt attacked. I was like, whoa.
There's nothing that gets the prequel kids, up out of their seats more than Duel of the Fates. Everybody's like, Korra, and everybody's screaming, off key. I mean, that's really what the vibe of that tune is. It's one of the best in the whole saga. So let's we can't stay on that forever, though. We'll be here for 1,000 years. But let's talk about the Inquisitor Fortress.
Wow.
The Fortress of the Inquisitors.
Holy crap.
It's a big tower in the ocean.
No sand in sight, just like Vader would have wanted.
Also, this is when the voiceover starts. Let's talk about the voiceover. The key to hunting Jedi is patience. And then another key line, he says, their compassion leaves a trail. And then he says something like the order or the Jedi code. The
Jedi code is like an itch. They cannot help it.
Can we talk about how good these lines are? And I think they're coming from the Grand Inquisitor, which is Rupert Friend here.
They are, yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, that's some spicy dialogue.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Grand Inquisitor. That was a big surprise. This was actually reported, I forget by whom, a while back.
So not really a big
character,
surprise.
Would be showing up, and it was good that they showed him in the trailer. Again, one of those instances where the Obi-Wan Kenobi show is not holding back for a gotcha cameo. It's like, this is who's in the show. This is it.
No.
This is what you're getting.
You're saying that, but we haven't seen the show, which could then be full of gotcha cameos. You're speaking far too soon. This is a trailer.
I'm pretty confident, but there will be some other cameos in the show. Some I hope don't show up and some I do, but the Grand Inquisitor, I mean, God, we could talk about his look all day long and like debate that to dust, but I think the voice, the vibe, the aura of this character, Rupert Friend, is like nailing it completely. Mm-hmm. I feel the fear in this dialogue. Like I'm scared listening to it.
Yeah, he's got I'm not quite sold. Eyes.
Yeah, I'm not quite sold on the look just yet. But again, maybe that will just require more viewing and more camera angles and more different lighting situations that maybe bring out some of the makeup and the prosthetics a little bit more. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to hold judgment a little bit. But it was interesting, considering he has a Pown or...
yeah, he's a Powan from Utapau, which guys, if you know me, I have a true love for Tion Medin, who is the Powan that Obi-Wan talks to right when he arrives. And so when a Powan shows up, I have to be excited about it. But this look, as many people have mentioned, is very different from the animated styling. So I'll be really interested to see how, as you said, how the makeup fares in different lighting, because we're kind of getting a little bit too weird settings of lighting where it's not super clear. Like they're indoors, but they have the outdoor light behind them in this first one. And the second one is like all red. So I'm excited to see more. And you guys, Rupert Friend in Homeland, he is very, very good and plays a very interesting character. So when I heard he was cast, I was really thrilled. So I'm really excited to see his take on the role. And again, their compassion leaves a trail. That's spicy. That's really spicy. But I guess with that, let's also talk about like the interior that we see of the Inquisitor Fortress, because they're in a meeting room. It's underwater. We've got Moses Ingram as Reva or Reva, Reva. I'm going to go with Reva because I like it more.
Yes.
And then we've got Sung Kang as the fifth brother who's sitting, with his back to us. And then we have another Inquisitor who is kind of on the far side of the table, who I don't think we know anything about yet. But I believe that this Inquisitor is being played by Simone Kessel. Again, we only see this character in a couple of like background sort of shots. So I don't really feel like we have a good enough look at her face to really confirm that. But that's by process of elimination. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. But also look at this chair that is clearly Vader's. The chair is literally shaped like his castle. Like that's bro, Annie, my guy. That's so extra.
Somebody said, do you think he's, or somebody mentioned this on Twitter, do you think he's photoshopped out of this? Do you think he's actually sitting there? Looks like Reva is sort of looking at the chair, head down. It seems like there is a superior presence in the room, potentially, that is quite fearful.
Maybe. And maybe the thing that signals that is that there are 2 stormtroopers on either side of the door. Or the other thing here is
because we know stormtroopers could really protect Vader, right? The best bodyguards around.
Yeah, the best protection
Vader,
a guy
call
can
him
find.
Call in the stormtrooper.
Yeah. But like
the old reliable.
Either that or like Reva is leading the mission against either Obi-Wan or on Tatooine. But it's also very curious because it's very clear that the Grand Inquisitor comes to Tatooine. There's some spicy stuff happening here. I have no idea. But
yeah,
I'm very curious about it.
One other notable thing about this room is if you see on the windowsill, there's like almost a red lining. There are lightsabers sitting in a little like glass container right beneath the window, lining the walls around the room.
Oh my, no. Those are those lightsabers, or are those just a part of the room?
I'm pretty sure those are lightsabers.
Oh my.
So it looks like this meeting room, the Inquisitors bring the lightsabers of the Fallen and place them as trophies.
I'll laugh at you.
Which isn't unprecedented because, Thrawn has this trophy room, and I would expect, Vader and the Grand Inquisitorius to have theirs.
Grievous has a cloak.
Yeah.
A trophy cloak. I will laugh at you if this is just like an accent on the wall, but if it's not, I owe you a quarter, 25 cents.
Okay, great.
Okay.
You can Venmo me. It's fine.
I will Venmo you a quarter. And then we go to this like really startling. So we're back on Tatooine. We see Owen. Before that, we get a very Jojo Rabbit-esque, just the feet of the person who is being elevated in the air either by the Force or by something else. I don't know. But I'm not quite sure.
People look fearful in the crowd.
But they're also not running away. They're kind of walking towards him. So like, I'm not sure he's alive. I'm not sure this character's alive. But then we get Reva's hot costume. That must be
played by Moses Ingram, by the way.
Must be toasty in the Tatooine sun, but she looks really crisp. So,
amazing.
Looks incredible.
Her outfit and her saber notably looks double-sided. By the way.
I mean, this is the Inquisitors. They've all got to have fancy sabers. They're cool.
Yeah.
They're cooler than everybody else. So
Obi-Wan's gonna be like, God damn it! Why can't I just fight like one normal lightsaber for once in my life? It's got to be like a guy with 4 arms. It's got to be a guy with the double-sided saber with spikes on his head.
He's like, I've been through a lot of shit, guys. Can we just keep one blade on and keep
like Jesus Christ? Like Dooku was the easiest, and he still whooped my ass in Attack of the Clones. Like, come on, please.
Is he really that good at Jedi? Like, there's a question we can ask ourselves.
Yeah,
But then we get another character that kind of shows up here, and I want to talk about this Imperial officer that I believe. Again, like could be totally mucking this all up, but I believe is being played by Indira Varma.
Mm-hmm.
We just kind of get her walking out of the ship. She looks intense. She's got excellent cheekbone. It's important when you're in the Empire. Have a crisp
Indira
look.
Varma from Game of Thrones. And many other things. She's very good in Game of Thrones.
Who did she play in Game of Thrones? I didn't watch Game of Thrones.
I forget. It's been a while, but she's one of the people as part of Pedro Pascal's
group of
sort
people?
of clan, I believe, and group of people. Yeah. So they're all kind of in the same vicinity. When Pedro unfortunately gets off on the show, Indira is the one to stand up and give a shriek. A very loud shriek and horror of what has transpired at the hands of the Mountain. Okay. So interesting stuff. But before we move forward, I want to go back to your observation, what's happening on Tatooine. We do get a shot before the Inquisitor area of Obi-Wan taking public transport, by the way, which I think was...
It's an excellent 2022 Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
Public transportation, commercial transit. They might be going to their job. They might be going to work on that thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like going out to the work camp site, but like... we love seeing that.
We're getting a lot of different, trains on Tatooine lately between this and Book of Boba Fett. So,
oh my gosh,
I thought that was cool, and just part of part of Obi-Wan blending in, but we do get this like confrontation between Owen and Reva, which there's a photo in Entertainment Weekly of the two of them literally inches apart. And you kind of wonder, does she know that he knows something, right? And I just think that is so badass. Like, this show is going to just completely reframe the way we think about Uncle Owen. You know, like, why did he give up on
100%. I'm so excited.
Why did he give up on Obi-Wan? Like, is this person that maybe is possibly off? Is this somebody that was close to Owen that Owen knew? And is Owen starting to realize maybe, you know, the closer I get in proximity to this Jedi, to Obi-Wan, unfortunately, the people around me are going to start suffering because of it. Say, like, and
oh, he's a crazy old man or something?
Yeah. You know, don't want to go with him on his idealistic crusades, right? And so
shit, yes.
What seems to be, I think there's a breaking point that we're going to maybe see between these two, because what leads to that sentiment? And, you know, maybe it goes back to that moment when in the trailer Obi-Wan says stay hidden. You know, maybe that's after a fight, because Obi-Wan's like, okay, we just fought. I guess this is, our relationship is kind of at an impasse now. I guess I'll leave, but just stay hidden. That's all I can tell you. Like, I'll still watch you, but you know, it's at this point, it's kind of like we're not super warm towards each other, right? But I do think it is so badass of Owen to like face down a fucking Inquisitor and like
live to tell.
Looking her in the eye, like smug look on his face, like I ain't telling you shit, like not happening, right? And I do want to comment on Deborah Chow saying, "Thank you, George, for casting Joel Edgerton as Uncle Owen. That's all I can say."
That quote got me so excited, because I was like, oh my God, Owen is gonna have like a role, and Joe Edgerton is a great actor. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So wow, this is all 15 years in the making. I'm so thrilled. I'm so thrilled by this, because Bonnie Peace is back too as Beru, and I hope that she has a good sized role as well here. Oh my gosh, this is all so wild. This is wild.
Yeah.
Okay, but we have to talk about the new planet. Can we talk about the new planet for just like a minute?
Yes, okay. It is called Daiyu, spelled Daiyu. And writer Joby Harold described it as, quote, "It's got a graffiti-ridden nightlife and is kind of edgy. It's just got a different lane and a different feeling." So yeah, it's very interesting. This is where we see the shot of Reva standing on the rooftops, kind of looking for her Jedi.
For all the around all the neon signs, there's like a lot of neon.
Yeah.
A lot of like really interesting looks. There's with this other Inquisitor, she's kind of walking past the line of townsfolk, and they all have really interesting designs on them as well. And I am really, really interested by this new setting and all the kind of types of characters you could find there.
Feels very like Fallen Order, you know, like when Cal Kestis was sort of intermingling with a lot of people with these like neon, like the neon nightlife, and you know, taking the train and stuff. Mostly during the trailer of Fallen Order. Remember when he's like on the train, and it kind of feels like a similar environment to that almost. So I sort of love this. I just love this sort of city landscape of these, like, you know, hide from the Sith stories. And you know, blend in and escape through the crowds. Feel.
Yeah, because then we go right over into this next shot where we have a trooper talking to a droid who's playing the droid of people we haven't seen yet, or like that I can't confirm based on like who we're seeing in the trailer, whether it be like their outline or like seeing their face. I think this could either be Kumail Nanjiani or O'Shea Jackson Jr. I could be wrong. Could be something completely different, but like that's what my gut is telling me, that it's one of those two, and I would be thrilled to see either of them in this sort of role for sure. So
absolutely.
Droid, I want to know more about you. Let's be besties. Looks like there's at least one N and one D in his name. In this droid's name. So I'm not an Arabesh expert. Would love for somebody on the internet to figure out all the Arabesh in the trailer and translate it. But yeah, we get some cool moments of action, and then we get the Grand Inquisitor spinning his lightsaber.
Spinny. Are we gonna get helicopter sabers in this? I hope so.
I sincerely hope
We
so.
better.
If we don't, that would be like a huge disappointment. And then we have this person, like, we don't know who they are. It looks like they have some sort of implants in the back of their head. It's being speculated that this could be Tamara Morrison as Cody on the internet. Do you have any solid thoughts here?
I don't, honestly. I do question the implants, though. I was like, Lobot? And I was like, nah, it can't be Lobot. I was like, where would Lobot be here? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know who this could be, but I'm curious as to, why the Inquisitor is saying, where is he? Like, who's he?
With
right?
the lightsaber out. Like, he's not messing around. He's like,
yeah.
This
person knows, it's some important information, clearly. So, but then we flip over to the fifth brother, played by Sung Kang, and he is preceded by a group of stormtroopers walking through the city of Dayu. And damn, I think he looks actually really, really good as the fifth brother. I'm actually really impressed by him, and I'm excited to see him kick some ass. Apart from what we've seen in Rebels, if anybody's gonna have a helicopter lightsaber, it is definitely him.
Okay,
because he has done that. So that would be exciting. But I thought he looked great. And then, we get this like solid transition to an escape pod getting blasted away. It's just so smooth, so crisp. I love the sound of the escape pod. Is Obi-Wan in an escape pod? Who's taking the escape pod? Is my question.
I don't know. Where are they escaping from?
Yeah.
I don't know. And then we go back to Tatooine though. And then we get to see, okay, this is the shot that I talked about before we were recording. I'm so excited about the shot because I am 95% certain that's Benny Safdie. That is back to us, who is facing off against Moses Ingram as Reva here. She's like sliding over the table and igniting one side of her lightsaber. And he's like sliding on the ground towards her, like trying to get out of this cafe. And he's like rising his hands, like he's like, don't harm me. But he's also trying to leave. Like, who are you playing, Benny Safdie? Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all I have to say. I don't have the answer to that question.
We get this next shot of the Inquisitor touching like a Jedi symbol on the wall. Which I'm like, maybe did like Obi-Wan inscribe that on the wall to give people hope? The Jedi are still around in secret, in the shadows. And then we get this like epic shot of it seems like Obi-Wan in an alleyway with Reva, and he is wielding a blaster, and they're having a little bit of a standoff.
Unless it's not him, which is possible. It is a DL. It looks like a DL-44. It could be Han Solo. No, I'm just kidding. I am not responding to that comment. Actually, I will not be baited into that conversation. That's for sure.
But I think there's some irony to Obi-Wan wielding a blaster after being like so uncivilized. When he kills Grievous with one. But
like notable that he's holding a different blaster in this next shot where he's actually shooting than the blaster that we see in the shot prior in the alleyway. Like it could not be him. Could be a different character.
It could be, yes. Who's shooting at Obi-Wan is my question. Who has blasters? That would be shooting at him.
That's such a good point.
Because like Inquisitors aren't carrying blasters, so is he getting in a little bit of a scuffle somehow on like a secret mission, or maybe trying to get some information that he needs to carry out his mission, and runs into the wrong group and draws attention to himself, which is when, Moses Ingram catches wind and shows up.
Maybe it's O'Shea Jackson Jr. or Kumail Nanjiani. Just throwing it out there.
But time will tell. But what did you make though of the trailer's motto, which is between darkness and defeat, hope survives?
That's sexy.
That's
what I have to say about that. That's sexy. I mean, we know that Star Wars loves its theme of hope, but like, there's just something about it. It works. It works every time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So hope survives. Like that's hot.
And Luke represents, a new hope. And for the galaxy, it's a new hope, but also like, for Obi-Wan, right? So like we know from the EW article that Ewan described Obi-Wan as, quote, "We find Obi-Wan at the beginning of our story rather broken and faithless and beaten up, somewhat given up." So how do we get a character from that point to continuing to feel like it's worth sticking around? Like it's worth hiding in a cave to watch over a young Luke Skywalker. Like this is worth it. Like what makes him feel that? And so I hope the show answers that question like what re-inspires hope within Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
How does he find his new hope? And this is a period when you need hope, a period in time when the Empire is reigning across the galaxy. You know, we haven't quite gotten to Rebels in this point in the timeline. We're not at Solo. We're not at Rogue One. Obviously, we got a long way to go until then. But how do you inspire hope, and how do you keep it in the darkest of times, especially when you got a band of Sith Inquisitors roaming the galaxy hunting for you? And you know, I'm curious, you know, and I'm curious how the show might feed into the rebellion. And you know, obviously we still don't know of like Vader's involvement. We get this final shot of Obi-Wan who looks very you know, distraught, and we get the Vader breath. We don't see Vader in the trailer. So how does he fit into all of this? And you know, we got to think of that other side of the coin. Like, how much of Anakin and Vader's story are we going to get in the show as well, to sort of complement and contrast Obi-Wan's, and the pain that Obi-Wan feels and the guilt that he feels from striking down his own brother because he had no other choice, right? So we're talking a lot about like the setting and the plot and the characters of the show, but like, what is the mental anguish that Obi-Wan is going through, and how is he working through that? This is a story. This clearly seems to be a story about finding hope in the darkest of times, and after you have been dealt the worst loss of your life, right? Between darkness and defeat, hope survives. Like, it's still there. You just got to find it, right? It's the eternal flame that, you know, sometimes it just gets so small that you don't notice it, right? So what fans that flame for Obi-Wan is my question.
I just can't believe this is all actually happening. Like, I feel for so long we have been truly living in this limbo space. Like, is Celebration actually happening? Is this show actually happening? And like, yeah, the answer is yes. Yeah, the answer is yes. And it's all coming together within the past week, 2 weeks even. And it is so refreshing to feel like this. Just like feel like plans are coming together in that regard. So there's a lot. I mean, there's so much going on in the world, and it's exciting to feel excited about this.
Yeah, we gotta find hope where we can find it, and find moments that bring us joy. So, you know, it's been a tough week, tough month, tough year. So, you know, sometimes as you roll with the punches, you find glimpses of joy that can lighten your day a little bit. And at least today, this was it for us, because we're just so excited. We get to watch this together at Celebration in like 2 months. You and I in person get to watch this.
What the fuck, man? Like,
it's crazy.
I don't believe it's happening. Like, I don't think I'm actually going to think you're a real person until we actually like get there and are hugging and are like, oh my God.
To be clear, we have met before, so you should know I'm a real person.
We've met before, but like,
unless I've been a simulation this entire time.
You have,
yeah.
But we have
really
met before.
Sophisticated AI.
But like 99.5% of our friendship has been through this Zoom meeting that we're currently on and recording through. So like
the same Zoom meeting, we haven't ended it.
Yeah, no, we don't end it when we're not here.
Continues.
It's just there's a view of the room all the time. It's very weird. But Brad, I guess, is really interested in my family's Taekwondo trophies.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
You're interested in all my Funko Pops behind me, so
I am. That's true. And then I love it when I can
Kenobi,
see.
I'm a shill, so I'll be buying Kenobi Funko Pops, and I won't know where to put them. So that's good.
Somebody take his wallet away. Take his wallet away. But I just am really excited about the idea of like kicking off the show together and amongst friends, and it feels good in that regard for sure.
Well, you can definitely stay tuned to our coverage of Obi-Wan Kenobi here on the podcast, because we will be talking about it every week. And our first episode will be in person together. It's the first time we're going to record together in person. And that will be,
or maybe the
exciting.
Second, if I convince you to record before Tuesday night. We'll see.
We'll figure it out. Yeah. Hopefully the audio and the sound in the rooms are good enough, or else we might have to delay. So we'll see how that setup is.
No. It's a con. We're just gonna do it ugly audio. It'll be fine.
Just ugly audio.
We're not gonna care. They're not gonna care. Nobody's gonna care. Everybody knows. Everybody knows.
It's gonna sound like we're talking through a Pringles can the whole time, but that's fine. It's for the vibes. You know,
for the vibes.
Friends forever. It's all good.
Besties.
But I'm seriously so excited. I wish Celebration were here sooner. And speaking of which, it's still happening. Masks and vaccines are required so that definitely makes a lot of people feel a little bit more safe. And as somebody who went to New York Comic-Con with those same requirements, I was happy to hear that. So I'm just hoping that everybody can make it to Celebration okay, and make it there safe and be safe while you're there. And I think it's going to be the convention of Kenobi. That's all I can say. I think we're going to get a big season panel with all the cast.
Oh boy.
And it's just going to knock our socks off. I hope I get into it.
Yeah. If we don't get into it, we'll just catch us sitting out in the parking lot, very sad, watching it on our phones.
And who knows, it looks like we're probably getting Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary panel because the merchandise exists.
We got to talk about this another time. Oh my God, there's so much.
A lot that happened this week. But,
exclusive books. I mean,
it is the year of Kenobi, in my opinion. And eventually we'll get some Andor as well, which I'm also excited about.
What the
it's a new era in Star Wars TV. Again, we're moving away from.
I'm gonna be so sad.
We're moving away from the Mandoverse for a hot minute, which I think is definitely needed, and I'm excited to see what that vision looks like outside of that, because Star Wars TV should just all be one thing. So I think this will definitely give us a taste of something else. I hope I'm proven right. There's a potential I'm proven wrong, and I hope I'm not.
Yep.
That being said, Sarah, did you have any other final thoughts on the Kenobi trailer?
No. Hype. Just hype.
Yes, I agree. I am so freaking excited. I just can't. I can't wait, honestly. Unfollow me now, because this is all I'm going to talk about the next 3 months. But I will definitely be picking up the last Entertainment Weekly ever, because that makes me sad. I've had Entertainment Weekly, not subscribed to it, but I got them a lot when I was younger, and collecting the Star Wars issues is always exciting. So I think, having you in on this final cover feels very fitting. And I'm going to buy like 20 copies. So
I believe that, actually.
Just in case.
Unfortunately.
In case I lose the other 19. You can never be too sure. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess this is a special fun episode, and we're just gonna end the episode here. So follow us on socials, check out the description of our episode for more information about the Amidala Initiative and how you can help, and I guess we'll see you in the next one, friends.
Yeah, thank you all for listening, and until next time, may the Force be with you always.
Bye.